In this video, I want to talk about why identity drives everything in your life. Now, if you watch the channel, we talk about self-sabotage, identity, getting in our own way. Today's back to the whiteboard, because I want to talk to you about how old identity loops create problems in our life, hold us back, stop us from moving forwards. And by working with our identity, we can move forwards in business, in life. This is not scripted. I have a few notes just to keep me on track. I'll do my best to explain everything as we go along. But I really want to concentrate on old identity loops, who we used to be, who we are right now, and how we can change that and how we can move forwards. We'll talk about why it feels unbreakable, why these loops just feel like they are looping round and we can't break out of them. And as frustrated as we get, we just continually cycle around. This video will be unedited, by the way. I want it to be raw, real, and just give you as much value as possible. And then we're going to look at a few acronyms on changing this loop and moving forwards. So we all hold an image in our mind's eye called a self-image. And we may or may not know this because this is controlled by a subconscious mind. Now, our self-image is all the ideas, the beliefs, the things we've learnt about our personality, things that have created our personality, until we hold an image of who we think we look like, who we think we are. Now, quite often, when we get stuck in old loops and old cycles, we end up telling ourselves that we can't do this, we'll never be able to do that. I'm comparing myself against those people who've moved faster in business. I'm comparing my relationships to other people's. And this extends from what we believe about ourselves. And these are subconscious beliefs because they've been absorbed throughout life. So we might not even know we hold some of these. So we hold a self-image, and these are backed up by beliefs about ourselves. So when we get challenged in a situation, we hold this image, we hold these beliefs. So if it's something that is new, doesn't feel safe, doesn't feel easy, then our brain tracks back. The brain looks backwards to all the beliefs we hold about ourselves and all the beliefs we hold about our image. Does it think it's possible with our current programming? And quite often when we're stuck in this loop, the brain goes, nope, not safe. So we stay as the person that we've always been. And it becomes a self-fulfilling cycle. I can't possibly do this. Yeah, you're right. This happened when you were 10, and it just shows you that you can't do it. So nope, that's not safe. We'll cycle round and we'll stay with a self-image for our entire life, if we allow it to. Subconscious programming is just like a computer program that's been installed pretty much from birth throughout your early years. And everything that you've learnt, everything that you've absorbed, your brain is consistently checking. Going back, the biggest question is always asking, is this safe? You have been programmed with a level of money that you are allowed to make, be it from your parents and what they used to earn, what they earn, be it from your grandparents, be it from teachers who tell you, be it from the news and media who tell you what your job should equate to in monetary terms. So your brain is constantly cycling back, looking at your self-image. And then we start to repeat these behaviors because we are ultimately confirming who we think that we are. Have you ever heard somebody say, I'm just anxious? I'm just big boned. That's just who I am. That's my personality. Why called bull? Because what it is a self-image that's been created in our own head over time by other people, by a story we've told ourselves, that's been absorbed into our brain, which our brain doesn't want to change because it feels safer staying as we are. However, the other part of us knows that we want to be better, that we want to improve, that we want to earn more money, that we don't want to be stressed as much. So something has to change. Whilst we're not changing, we are overthinking, procrastinating, holding back, sabotaging ourselves because we believe we have to conform subconsciously outside our realm of conscious ability to the person that we've always been. It's installed in there. How could we possibly change it? So let me show you how we start to change who we are. We know we need a new self-image, a new self-concept. So we start with clarity. Who do we need to become? How do we need to act? How do we need to hold ourselves? How do we need to speak? How do we need to portray ourselves? Where do we want to go? Clarity equals direction and understanding. We could set sail with a ship into the ocean and travel around the world aimlessly. Or we could set coordinates and end up at our destination much, much quicker. Once we have clarity on who we want to be, how we want to act, what we want to lose from the old negative loop, what we want to stop, then we have a better direction and understanding of where we want to go. But we need to start to subconsciously rewire, which is what I help my clients do in my Neuroclarity Code, which is my program on helping entrepreneurs and business owners start to change their self-concept. Who they told themselves they were is a lie. That sounds pretty deep, but it's true. We're just a story and a culmination of everything that we've told ourselves throughout life. When we start to get clarity on who we want to become, our brain starts to shift focus. And at one point, it's pointing at this negative cycle of doom. And as we start to rewire, it starts to look at the possibilities. What could I do? How could I be? Who could I become? What money can I earn? When we're no longer programmed by the old loop. And if we point in a different direction, our identity has to shift with it. Identity shifts. As identity shifts, our actions start to change as we become different people. Now, does that mean your entire life and your identity, entire personality is going to shift? No. We can still be kind-hearted. We can still be action-taking. We can still be happy-go-lucky. What we're doing is enhancing the possibilities and the options to your brain, which will lead to better outcomes. Because do we ultimately want to be stuck in the loop of doom where all we feel is pain, hurt, regret, shame, anger, guilt? Or do we want to be pointing towards the possibilities of life and more money, better relationships, happiness, inner peace, which all of those actually starts to bring? That's another subject for another day. So we're going to start to get new results. If we change our self-concept and the image in our head, everything afterwards has to change. Let me give you a real-life example, an absolute real-life example of a client. I'll use an initial to keep anonymity, to can't even say the word, but you know what I mean. And here she is. Here she was, before working together. A brilliant business owner. But she had massive energy fluctuations. She started finding herself pulled from area to area. She would start holding back. In her own words, she felt like she was becoming lazy. Not true, by the way. Procrastinating. Putting off. And this was the loop that she was stuck in. The loop of doom, once again. Through working together on the clarity, the subconscious beliefs, the identity, the new actions, and the new results, she became absolutely phenomenal. She opened another 6-figure business. She started having more time for her friends and family. She started changing and monitoring energy levels. She started becoming more magnetic just through changing and clarifying who she wanted to be and working on the subconscious parts of her life holding her back. And now she's making hundreds of thousands of pounds doing something that she is now energized for. That's something that she's totally passionate about and something that she loves day to day. And that is entirely possible, and I've seen it hundreds of times. If you're ready to find out more, there's 2 links in the description below. One for my self-sabotage decoder. It's called the SSD, which will help you with your sabotage type. It's an archetype. Give you some ideas on how to change this and rewiring video. If you want to work one-to-one, I have a 6-week program. You can get more details in the link below and book a coffee call and we'll have a chat about it. No hard sales, just a chat to see if I can help get you out of this loop of doom. Make much more money, much better relationships, and learn to be the person that you've always wanted to be. I can guarantee you it's possible. make the call, book the link, let's have a chat, and let's move you forwards. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.